This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent professors, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I come in, sir?
Please come in.
So can I sit?
Take your seat. Nivedika Saroha.
Yes, sir.
You're from Jammu Kashmir, but studied in Delhi.
Yes, sir, but I am not from Jammu Kashmir. My father was in Air Force, so he was posted there back then.
Okay. How many years was he posted there?
So 3 years.
Only 3 years. Then you've done MBA from XLRI Jamshedpur. You have worked.
No, sir, I'm working.
Okay. You're still working
Yes, sir.
as a risk analyst
Correct, sir.
in American Express, Gurgaon. You have several hobbies. Why do you want to join these civil services?
Yes, sir. So, like you said that, from my DAF, my father has served the Indian Air Force for the past 40 years. He's retired now. And I have an elder sister. She's in the IPS, currently undergoing her training. So, sir, I have seen the kind of gratification it brings to one when it comes to nation service. And, sir, for me, this is just not a job, but an opportunity to do some impactful work. So that is just the sole motivating force for me to join the services.
What do you mean by impactful work?
So I can give you a comparative analysis about what I am currently doing and what I could do in the services. So in corporate, we will be impacting a limited number of people in terms of, mostly in terms of economic terms. But if I'm on field, through the services, I will be able to bring real life impact in lives of grassroots people, be it if I were to contribute in the education sector or in the employment sector for that matter. So it gives me a plethora of opportunity to, work in diverse fields.
Okay, so you're trying to say that those who are not in the civil services, they are not impacting anything at all. What
No,
about
sir. I'm not saying that.
big politicians? Are they not impacting?
No, sir. Yes, they are. They are the backbone of our democracy. So I cannot say that they are not contributing, but for my personal values and my aspirations, I think that I could be a good fit in the services. So.
Okay, you're working as a risk analyst in American Express. What kind of job is this?
So this basically in the risk and strategy domain, I work for the commercial corporate portfolio. So for the corporate clients, we are to design the strategy on what kind of credit limits they could be extended from American Express part. So the entire logic, etc. So we formulate that.
Have you heard of de-risking?
De-risking as a concept.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So this is basically risking away from some risking avenue, reducing the risk in simpler terms. This could be achieved via diversifying the portfolio or the kind of credit in this example for that matter. So that entails de-risking.
Okay, you've studied in XLRI, you've done your MBA.
Yes, sir.
After 2 years of MBA,
Right, sir.
what actually have you learned from this course?
So one thing which I learned was patience and collaboration. So in MBA, 99% of the projects were to be done in group. So I have understood the importance of teamwork. Back in engineering, I used to be like, if someone is not working, then I have to finish some work or some assignment. So I'll just do it myself. I was of that nature. But post doing my MBA, I have realized that contribution from each one of the team members is crucial. And in that aspect, patience is the key. So that is one thing that I can say that I learned there.
Okay, you've lived in Jamshedpur.
Yes, sir.
Jamshedpur is said to be a city or a town, whatever you call it, which has very good urban amenities, civic amenities. How has it happened?
So there it is also called as Tata Nagar. So the Tata Corporation handles the in some sort handles the role of what municipal corporations in other cities do. So it maintains the roads, the basic infrastructure, so things like that. So in that aspect, it is different from other cities. But Jamshedpur as a whole is not like that. It is like a very small portion of it, particularly towards the civil lines, which is what you are referring. The other portion of it is being handled by the government only.
So you try to say that private sector handles cities better
No, sir, I'm
than
not
government
saying. No, sir, I'm
through
not
their
saying that.
municipal corporations or municipalities.
No, sir, I'm not saying that. It's just private sector is sometimes a bit efficient in terms of cost or meeting deadlines. So so those good aspects could be implemented in the areas where government is handling the things.
Okay, my last question. It is said that foreign policies don't win elections. I want your view on this.
So foreign policies don't win elections. I do not agree with this statement, because foreign policies are not completely foreign. They are essentially the domestic policies, right? For instance, recently when we concluded our G20, it was just not limited to Delhi for that matter. It was spread across multiple centers, cities, etc. So that sort of sets in tune for what sort of aspiration our current government has in its agenda for the India of future, for or that Atmanirbhar Bharat, the 2047 mission. So, initiatives like that sets tune and tone for the upcoming elections, and the people of the country gets to decide if that is aligning with their aspirations or not. So it does not matter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you are born in Amritsar, Srinagar, but you don't belong to that place. Which place your parents belongs to otherwise?
Sir, Bagpat from Uttar Pradesh.
From here itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so and you have studied in Rohini Kendriya Vidalaya.
Yes.
How you were there?
My father was posted in Assam, but I was in 10th standard, so they took a call that he'll just go there, and my family shifted to Delhi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So had a rental or whatever it is. Okay. Good. And later on you got in DTU. That is another added advantage of having the same place.
Yes, sir. At the time, we were not aware about that Delhi thing, but yeah, it turned out well enough.
Okay, good. Okay. Your father was in Air Force as a pilot?
No, sir.
Okay.
He was a sergeant.
Okay. Subject you have taken PSIR. Studied something mechanical engineering.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because
Studying for 4 years,
yes,
5 years, whatever it is.
Yes, sir.
Going even the depth of that particular subject, not taking that subject.
Yes, sir. So there are two aspects to it, sir. One is interest. I wanted to learn something new. And I really enjoyed PSIR. And for optional, you have to choose a subject which you enjoy, because you have to dedicate a good amount of time. Or sir, secondly, since I was working, I had very limited time. So I wanted a subject which would help me in GS papers as well. So basis on these two factors, I zeroed down on PSIR.
Okay. So you are working. Is there any Shakha guidelines are being formed in your organization in that particular where you are working?
Yes, sir. POSH guidelines are in place there.
What are these?
So this is the act for the safety of women in workplace, so that they can do their best instead. They should not be inhibited because they are not feeling comfortable in the workforce because of some sexually insinuated innuendos or some actions which is not making them comfortable. So just to deal with this, these guidelines were formed based on Vishaka guidelines, which are Honorable Supreme Court asked the government
It is related to only women which are being exploited sexually or whatever it is?
Not just women, sir. I'm sorry, sir, but I cannot recall it properly whether it is gender or women.
Okay. How they have come up?
Sir, this is because of that Vishaka guidelines that was given by the Supreme Court. So, Supreme Court via Article 142 to complete justice, because there was a policy vacuum. So, basis on that, the government formulated the POSH Act.
Origin has taken place?
Sir, I think there was the Bhavri Devi case in Rajasthan. So, post that, these guidelines came into picture.
Okay, good. And PSIR, just seeing the status of Ukraine at the moment. 1/4 of its area has gone, half of army has died, and it's not has its own weapons or something like that, and still fighting.
Yes, sir.
What is this? Why such kind of situation? Is it not that a person is just being put up at a chair and fighting is somewhere else that is going on? What do you think about it?
So about the Ukraine-Russia conflict, so like you said, it has lost 1/4 of its area. So I believe it's just not Ukraine, but Russia as well. Both are losers in one way or the other. And as far as the continued fighting is concerned, sir, it's just not Ukraine. It is the Western powers that are supplying weapons, monetary help, so as to counter the Russian attack on the territory.
Okay, one thing, that Ukraine has got destroyed too much. Now, why it is the western part which is still fighting? But now the world should stand up. That okay, humanity for the cause of humanity. It is not Russia now. It is the western part which can be blamed for this. Don't you think like this?
Sir, from the humanitarian aspect, absolutely I agree with you that the war should end. But we don't live in an ideal world. There are a lot of egos involved in the picture, be it Zelensky or Putin for that matter. And this is not about Ukraine versus Russia, but about US versus Russia as well. Because US wants to establish and further consolidate its hegemony in the world in the backdrop of rising China. So weakening Russia will help it to further bolster its stature on the global world. So, aspects like that are the prime reason why the fighting is still going on. But sir, I would like to add some things that the financial aid supplied to Ukraine is being dried up, because the Western powers, as you highlighted, are realizing that this is just a lost cause. This war might continue for eternity because no side will back down. So maybe if they would stop supplying them with arms or financial aid, it will have to cede to the rising threat of losing further territories.
Okay. Small query about Maldives.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is happening in the Maldives? The situation has seen in Nepal. They are now distancing from China. Sri Lanka is distancing from. Maldives are new prey for China. Do you think in future the Maldives will also distance from China the way other countries have distanced?
So we cannot generalize this issue because every country is unique in its own sense. So yes, there are chances that they might be a new victim to the dead diplomacy of China. So the government should cede some attention towards that as well. And like you highlighted, sir highlighted in the beginning, de-risking. So they should not just put all their eggs in one basket and should not properly, terminate all the relations with India or some other country and rely on China solely.
But India should do that. Now we are coming out of Maldives in the form of force. Now what we should do to protect ourselves from the threat of China in that particular Indian Ocean or something?
So in Indian Ocean, to counter China, we have multiple initiatives like Sagar or partnering with our Southeast Asia neighbors via our East. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Asians.
Yes, sir. That. So we have recently conducted a maritime exercise in the South China Sea with Philippines. So we are proactive when it comes to defending our interest, because national interest is supreme in every country's foreign policy. And we have also partnered with countries such as Australia via Quad, etc., to safeguard the Indo-Pacific region at large.
One is that we are to leave Maldives in the form of, but still we want to keep some persons over there. Why we want to keep the persons over there other than the embassy?
Yes, sir. So those were not. So we had gifted some aircrafts or things like that to Maldives, and those personals were there to maintain or do similar kind of activities, so that in times of need, aid could be provided to Maldives at the earliest. It was not from an intention of militaristic interest or something of that sort. So yeah, sir.
No.
Nivedika, you have mentioned that you want to join civil services inspired by Air Force, your father's career. But I also see that you've done your graduation in engineering from DTU, then you did MBA.
Yes, ma'am.
So how does this align with your goal of being into civil services?
Ma'am, I would say that I am a very risk-averse person.
Okay.
I have seen people wasting away their life. This will be a strong statement, but ma'am, it's true that 6 years, 8 years have gone by and they are just stopped there while their batchmates, friends have moved on. So that thought really terrified me. So I just wanted to build a solid backup plan B, so that I can invest 110% of my energy on my planning.
Okay, so so if you don't qualify civil service, you would go back to doing a corporate job, probably American Express or any other?
Ma'am, I'll just continue.
That's your plan B?
I'll
Yes.
continue giving my attempts while pursuing my job here.
Okay. And what are you doing to create impact as you are working in your job?
Ma'am,
talk about impact.
yes. So, ma'am, my firm is doing CSR in women health and hygiene.
Okay.
So I have partnered with that initiative. And one time there was this activity of providing financial literacy to kids of 8th to 10th standard. And I have also participated in that.
What do we
activity.
understand by financial literacy?
Ma'am, this is about having a basic understanding of the financials. Having prudence about the money you spend, how it comes back to you, general prudence, should you invest, or things like that.
What do we understand by demographic dividend?
So, ma'am, demographic dividend is the capacity of a population that is in the working age group we can say from 15 to 59 or 18 to 59, whatever you are using as a metric, that could contribute significantly towards the economic growth of the country via some employment.
Has India been able to successfully use its demographic dividend?
Ma'am, there's a potential, but we have not been able to capitalize on that completely. There is a lot of opportunity to work for us. So, ma'am, no, there's a lot to do. Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's say you get selected, you are the DM of a district. What measures would you take to utilize the demographic dividend of your district and create impact?
Yes, ma'am. So, firstly, I will try to gauge the kind of population spread I have in my area. So, to get a better idea of the people who can contribute towards the economy. Suppose that I'll maybe partner with the civil society actors like NGOs, etc., to create awareness among the youth.
Okay.
Like what all opportunities they can explore or the field of interest they want to pursue. Secondly, on the education aspect, the schools in my area, I will ensure that not just they are 100% enrolled for the eligible students, but students are actually coming in and they are participating in all the activities that are there, be it related to the academics or the extracurricular ones. And ma'am, thirdly, if people are not able to, they have a job, but they cannot come to it because of certain reasons, be it family pressure in case of women.
Correct.
So I will just try to resolve such issues based on the stakeholders.
Okay. Now you've also published a research paper on consumer behavior analysis. I'm assuming this was in XLRI.
No ma'am, this was back in DTU.
In DTU?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like a very management.
Yes ma'am, I had set my plan like that only.
Okay. So, but overall the research from India is very low.
Yes ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, it is around only 1.8% if I can
Yes.
recall correctly. So, because of lack of funds, functionaries, we are not able to invest that much. So, because of this, a vicious cycle sets into place. People are not motivated enough to pursue research in India. Even if they are motivated, they move out of the country. That results in brain drain. So, ma'am, in order to solve this issue, our government has been taking certain initiatives and schemes. So, it has been sort of...
Can you name some initiatives?
Ma'am, there was, I think, Atal mission to motivate and incentivize research in the fields of science and tech. Other than this, ma'am, in the new education policy, this has been set in to create an inherent temperament among students towards research. So, yeah, at the moment I can recall these two only.
Okay. My last question to you is, you mentioned brain drain.
Yes, ma'am.
So, is it really brain drain, or are we also gaining something from this movement of trained minds out of India?
So, brain drain, if I understand your question correctly, are you trying to say that we are not only losing?
Are we also gaining anything?
Yes, ma'am, yes and no. Yes, in terms of we are losing, if not all, but a significant portion of well-qualified people outside our country who might not be coming back. But ma'am, when I say no, we are not losing, we might be getting some remittances back. So that would help us boost our GNP or NNP for that matter in terms of net factor income from abroad.
Okay.
So
thank you.
So Nivedika, you are from Bagpat,
yes, sir.
right? So Khap Panchayat is still existing over there?
Sir, not Khap Panchayat, but Panchayats still take place.
Sure.
So Khap
Because I
Panchayats.
have heard that
Yes,
Khap Panchayat are still existing in Bagpat district.
So, I believe that is in the Haryana region, they are more prevalent. But, so I'll read more on it if they are prevalent or not.
All right. So, recently budget was presented and about FRBM Act.
Yes, sir.
What was the motive behind our FRBM Act?
So, we need to reduce the debt by GDP ratio for not just for center but for states as well. So, so as to bolster the idea of prudent spending, so that we don't end up spending on populistic policies which are not driving our economy, thereby avoiding all the capital expenditure and other asset creating assets in the long term.
Okay. Related to FRBM Act, there was a committee by N.K. Singh.
Yes,
What
sir.
was the recommendations of this committee?
Sir, it was the ratio was, I think it was 60%, 40% to 20%.
What?
I'm not able to recall the
All right.
facts.
Okay. So, as a woman, what are your views about menstrual leave?
So it is a very complex issue because there are arguments on both sides of this debate. For the proponents of this policy, they think that women and men are not physically equal. So the women might be facing some physical unease during the menstrual days in a month. But the opponents might say that this will put them in a disadvantaged situation and companies will not hire them because of this thing that they'll have to give them more leaves, and this will impact
They
their
should be
profits.
applied or not?
So it needs to be carefully studied first, only then
Very diplomatic answer. I'm just asking, what are your views about menstrual leave? They should be implemented or not?
So,
Do you have any idea that how many states in India is implementing this leave?
so
giving
on a
leave.
state level, I don't have an idea, but sir, I think Japan implemented it back in 70s or 80s, and that sort of backfired because women were not coming forward to cash on these
So that
leaves.
they should not be implemented, right?
So, sir, we don't have, I mean, I cannot recall of any success story now. So, from that, though, we can say that it should not be.
Okay. So, suppose you are a DM in district of UP, and like Uttarakhand, they have implemented the UCC. Okay, a bill has been passed, and the entire district or entire state is in boil, right? So, in that condition, as you are a risk analyst, what analysis of risk would be there as far as your perspective is concerned?
So, in context of UP.
Yes, if UCC has been implemented, because if you are seeing the situation of UK or like Uttarakhand and UP, both are quite different.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So this is because of the kind of religion split we have in these two states. So there's quite a significant population of Muslims in UP, and the gender justice aspect essentially entails from their laws, such that these man can marry more than one woman, that she will not be a part of the inheritance, things like that. So, sir, for some groups, this might not be acceptable because the matters of religion are quite sensitive. So, and we have seen in the past that there were religion riots as well in the state. So, this could lead to that if not incorporated with optimum inclusivity.
No, I said what would be the risk? Analyze the risk.
Yes, sir. This is one of the risks that riots might happen. Secondly, sir, this might end up in a deadlock. Like people are not, giving up to the essential effective framework of UCC that is trying to be implemented. So, other than that, that might derail the entire exercise of creating a UCC because too many exceptions might be created. So these are some things that are coming to my mind right now.
Okay. My last question. As far as the China-Taiwan relations are concerned, do you think that India is fomenting or India is using Taiwan against China?
So officially, we have always maintained the one China policy, but at the same time, we have unofficial cultural ties with Taiwan. We have certain cultural centers in India as well. So, it will be too extreme to say that we are using Taiwan against China, because in our Panchsheel foreign policy doctrine, we profess non-interference, peace and stability in the region. So this entire concept will be antithetical to our fundamentals. So, sir, I do not agree with that.
Okay, thank you.
Nivedika, you've done very well today.
Thank you, sir.
Is this your first attempt at civil services?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So you have this advantage. The board will definitely be very happy to have a young officer in the service. I think you'll do well. You just have to slightly upgrade yourself